Hey guys, so today we're going to look at a variation of the Messi feint where it almost looks like he'll kind of do an inside cut before doing his feint. So let's watch this clip first. Okay, just to go over it, you see as Messi comes towards the next defender here, you kind of see where he plants his foot. So you see it's kind of like to the side of the ball, to the right. A lot of times, he'll have his foot like typically over here and he'll do his normal feint. But here, you see his foot so kind of to the side, so it kind of almost tells me that it might suggest that he wants to like do an inside cut this way. And then as you see as he does a feint, so again you see those knees are fairly close together, and it's still not that far apart after he does that feint there. And you kind of see that hip kind of like turns out this way as he goes out to the side. You see a lot of feints, especially like the Jerome Boateng feint that he did, like that I first modeled. Like a lot of times, that hip doesn't really turn for some reason, but I'm trying to get the sense of it and see which variant of the feint that he does. So just to briefly talk about a lot of times I find it's easier to like do a feint when you're like hitting the defender on the side. If you're square, a lot of times you would do an inside cut because like his feet are like this way. You have to go more like to the side, so it's much better to go more directly towards the net. So that's a reason like you go to this hit him at an angle. You can do it like an inside cut or a feint, and afterwards you can more directly go towards the net. So, seeing this hip turn here, that kind of maybe suggests, like, as he does it this way, he kind of just wants to, like, bait the defender to keep going this way until the last moment where he turns. Okay, here's another clip of him doing the same variant. So this defender is a lot further away, but I think it's a fairly similar move. You see where his left foot is, again, to the right of the ball, suggesting he might go do an inside cut this way. And then you see his hip. You see that hip? It definitely does turn out this way, and then you see those knees are still fairly close together. And then he goes off to the side. I do want to point out, doing it this way, the ball is a bit further out as he hits it this way. A lot of times, again, I'll go back to the Jerome Boateng feint. The ball's a bit more closer to his knees, so his foot isn't like hitting out this way. More like just like kind of wraps around this way. And again, I've played this clip many times, but I just want to illustrate, the variant in this case. He doesn't have a hip turn as much, and his legs do go far further apart, and at the same time, the ball is closer to him, so his foot isn't outstretched when he makes the turn. So as the last step of Messi, see, takes a touch. See that hip? It's like facing this way. Maybe it turns a little bit, but it doesn't turn that much. It's still facing more or less the same direction. See, again, the knees are close together at this part, but see what in this case it's a bit further apart. So, yeah, I still need to understand why he does it, but also at the same time, see that ball is closer to his knee, so it doesn't outstretch too much this way. It's fairly close. So here's my first attempt. Okay, so like Messi, I was trying to make sure my left foot was started on this side right there, like this. And then you see, like, my knees are quite a bit further apart than Messi's, and what's even more is I stretch out a lot more this way. So it's more like the Boateng thing where like I decide to stretch, but this is way too far apart. If you see, look at Messi again. After he puts his foot to the side of the ball and his knees are together, does that hip turn? Which actually I might illustrate that I don't really turn my hips as much. And then you see like that foot. Once it gets starts to get in this position, I stretch way too much on the side like this. It's too much of a distance, whereas Messi, as soon as he kind of brings it to the side, it instantly goes down right there, whereas my foot was more over there. And it makes it easier to have your your knees together, and then I think naturally then you would outstretch and hit the ball a bit to the middle and further out of your body. And here's my second attempt. So I see there's a bit of snow on the ground, so I had trouble trying to keep my balance, so I couldn't do it, I guess, full speed, but I can still get more or less the same form. So again, my left foot goes to the side of the ball, and this time my knees were closer together, and it's easier to keep it close together because I'm not prepared to go too much, like too far over there, because once I get to the side, I plant really close to the ground here. I don't stretch out too much, and at the same time, you see my hips turns out this way, and then naturally it is easier to, like Messi, to hit kind of the middle outstretched this way. So I think in this variant, depends on the angles. So sometimes the defender's there. It's not just about coming here, doing some random move, and then going to the side. Sometimes you do some crisscrossing, and depending how the defender reacts, sometimes you want to bait him to go towards more this way. So maybe this hip turn will help make him track over to the left a bit before I move over to this side.